How are you?
Hello, Phil. I'm good, and how are you?
Yeah, really good. Take a seat.
I'm Phil Sandy, the Director of New Interconnectors and Project Director for Viking Link at National Grid Ventures.
My name is Søren Damsgaard-Mikkelsen. I am Project Director on Viking Link from Interconnector in Denmark, the Danish transmission system operator in Denmark.
Should we take the first cracker? Do you want to?
Yeah, that's exciting.
I think it's whoever wins asks the question.
Well, I won. Let's see what the question is about. It's here. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Good.
A good question. So we hope to have Viking Link operational by the end of next year.
Yes.
That was a nice, easy one to start with.
Yeah.
I think in terms of, genuinely in terms of working on Viking Link, I think it's working with another organisation in a joint venture. I think it's, you know, the engineering's really fun, the work that we do is really fun. It's obviously really important, but getting to work with another company so closely, I think there's very few opportunities that you'd ever get to do that. So I think that's the most fun for me.
I can only give exactly the same answer because that's also how I see it. And also you can say we've shared ways of working between us, between the two companies, which has, I believe, have been beneficial for both parties. So you learn a lot from working together on this type of projects. Generally, the experience about interconnectors is very good when it comes to reliability. I mean, the first interconnectors were built actually in the 1960s and have been some of them are actually of the interconnectors that were put into operation in the 1970s are still in operation and actually have a very high reliability. So in general, interconnectors do have a very, very high reliability, and I believe the experience is more or less the same all across Europe. It's certainly the experience in Denmark, and I know it's also the case in...
Yeah, so the first interconnector that National Grid Ventures was involved in was I think commissioned in 1986. And recently our Nemo Link interconnector to Belgium has achieved reliability of 99%, so you pretty much cannot get more reliable.
No. And we have similar experiences with the interconnectors we have to Norway, which were built actually in the mid-1970s, and they are still operational with a very high reliability. So actually, interconnectors are considered to be very reliable.
And Viking Link will be the same.
Yeah, it will be the same. I think what I do like mostly about working on interconnector projects is the opportunity that those kind of projects gives you to learn from another company, because usually on interconnector projects you are working together with a partner, just like we do on Viking Link, and it's always great to learn new things, new ways of working, how to do things, and you do that by working closely together with a partner on a project like Viking Link. I have personally learned a lot from the cooperation with National Grid.
The interconnectors, so what is an interconnector? In the context of what we're operating here, it's essentially a cable that connects two markets, in this case two countries. So in Viking Link's case it would be the UK and Denmark. And we're able to import and export electricity across that cable. So if there's a surplus of electricity in Denmark, we can import that. If there's a surplus of electricity in the UK, we can export that to you. And this is probably the same as how all interconnectors around the world work. Probably the same as onshore interconnectors.
Yeah.
So I think in simple terms, no. You know, our interconnectors are designed for extreme weather events, whether that's hot or cold. So we very much in the design phase take that into account, and we design the interconnectors for that. I think what is important, and certainly for this winter as well, is how we prepare for that, how we prepare for winter. So I'm sure it's the same in Interconnect. We've done lots and lots of work in National Grid, both in National Grid Ventures and in other parts of National Grid, about making sure that we're ready for winter.
We have to be prepared at any time for any event that can occur on such an interconnector.
Yeah, definitely, and we have this big program of winter preparedness that we've called it in National Grid. So that's exactly what, and I know jointly, you know, with Interconnect as well, but with other European TSOs, that's very much a collaborative effort as well. So it's really important. I mean, the process for preparing for winter doesn't start in winter. We start we're always thinking about it, but we very much start the process. You know, even in the summer, we're thinking about it year round. So we, you know, there's lots of things that we do, but very simply, we will take the time to brief people in preparation for winter. So we might ask people to be prepared. You know, check the tyres on their cars and make sure they've got blankets. That's just simply travelling to work. Blankets and other items that they might need available. There's also our supply chain will do lots of, you know, they'll try and make sure that areas are gritted and that we've checked that access into certain parts of the site is safe. We'll probably do extra briefings, so extra site briefings to make sure that it's really at the forefront of people's mind that the weather conditions and the conditions in which they're working in might have changed. And then I think there's some more, you know, more items that we might do. We might provide extra lighting, especially with the, you know, the dark mornings and dark evenings, extra lighting. So we really spend many weeks before the weather starts to turn, really preparing for that.
And it's the same actions we take on both sides of the interconnector. So because it is a challenge that we have building interconnectors in Northern Europe, that we will, during wintertime, we can get very bad weather, and especially with the dark hours, which also puts special requirements for lighting on all our working sites.
And I think another one to mention actually just come to mind is the offshore element, because I guess what's unique about interconnectors compared to other types of projects that the two TSOs would be doing is the offshore element of it. And most of the cable laying operations happen during the summer periods.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think we all know that the safest way to do something is to not do it at all.
Yeah, exactly.
So as we won't be doing offshore operations in the winter, that's a really good way.
On land.
Yeah.
We need interconnectors for many reasons. I would put a special attention to the fact that all across Europe, and of course also including the UK and Denmark, there are quite ambitious plans for a green transition, which involves a lot of use of renewable energy, especially from wind and sun. And as we will have situations where the wind doesn't blow in, for example, the UK, or the sun doesn't shine in the UK, then you in the UK will need other ways of getting your energy, and the same applies for of course for Denmark. So and the best way of you can say utilize this renewable energy most efficiently is by building interconnectors between the countries, because usually if the wind blows in the UK, it doesn't blow in Denmark or the other way around. And so that means that we can use the power, for example, from the wind turbines much more efficiently if we have a well interconnected energy transmission system between the countries within Europe.
Yeah, I think another reason why we need interconnectors is, and you mentioned net zero in the green transition, and we know that all European countries have committed to various targets. So we've committed in the UK to 50 gigawatts of offshore wind by 2030 and 18 gigawatts of interconnection by 2030 as well, of which Viking Link will contribute. But also, and I know National Grid and Interconnector are quite joined in this, in that the next phases of interconnectors, you call them hybrid, the multi-purpose interconnectors or hybrid interconnectors. And maybe it's worth talking about the proposed energy islands as well.
Island in the North Sea, yeah.
Yeah, you know, so I think we jointly see the build out of the North Sea power station, as we call it.
Yeah.
I think we're quite aligned on that view as well.
Yeah.
So really important for, as you said, those net zero targets.
Yeah, and also you can say, of course, in doing this green transition within Europe, also in order to, you can say, keep energy prices for the consumers down to the lowest possible level, we need to have strong interconnectors, because otherwise the green transition will become very expensive. If we only do the green transition, as you can say, an isolated case in Denmark or in the UK, it will become extremely expensive. So for that reason also we need interconnectors to have a much more efficient use of the energy and to keep energy prices down during this whole green transition.
Yeah, agreed. I think collaboration is key, isn't it? Yeah. The reason that particularly Viking Link is really important is net zero, and decarbonising our economies. Both the economy in the UK, but also the economy in Denmark. That's specifically talking about Viking Link, I think, and also maintaining security of supply for both of our countries as well. At a very high level, you can't store electricity at transmission level. At least it's extremely difficult to do that. So one of the reasons why Viking Link and other interconnectors are really key, and both of our joint plans to build multi-purpose interconnectors and energy islands and all the other great things that we're talking about in the North Sea, is to make sure that we decarbonise our economies, we hit net zero targets, whether that's 2030, 2040 or 2050 targets, but also we keep the lights on in the UK and in Europe, I think, very simply.
Yes. I would say the special thing around Christmas time in Denmark, and you have also been exposed to that is the Danish Christmas lunches. They are quite famous, or perhaps we should call them infamous, because it's basically a lot of food that is being served within a very long period of time. You are barely not able to stand up again, because you have basically eaten so much food that you can't raise yourself. But it is a tradition within in Denmark, and you do these Christmas lunches all across the Christmas season, starting mid-November actually, until New Year's Eve, basically. So during Christmas time, you could, as a Dane, easily be exposed to 5 or 7 or 10 Christmas lunches during the whole Christmas season.
That's a lot, and I think the thing I enjoy about it the most is sitting down with the family. And I've, recently with a new baby, this year will be very different for me personally, because we're the first time with him. So yeah, the best treat for me is going to be sitting down with the family with a nice Christmas dinner and relaxing.
The two teams that we have on Viking Link from Interconnector and from National Grid Ventures actually work extremely well together, and I think that's one of the very, very good things about working on Viking Link, is that excellent cooperation we have, the teams between us. It's very, very seldom that we have conflicts within our teams, and I think the reason why I think the cooperation works so well is the fact that we share the same way of humor, and we are very good at making a laugh of each other, and that's, I think, also a characteristics for both people from Britain and Denmark, that we actually, it's a part of our culture that we have this a little bit sarcastic way of saying things to each other and make a laugh of each other. And that's actually extremely useful, and it has been extremely useful on the project like this, because we have had many situations where we have had serious negotiations about how to build Viking Link, but we have always managed to find a good laugh during that process. And that's certainly for me, and I know that's the same for many of the team members on my side, that has been really the good thing about working together with the National Grid team, that we share a good time, although we are very often very hardworking, and there might be difficult things that we need to tackle. We are always able to work very well together and find a good laugh.
Well, Søren, that's the end of all the questions. So I think, it's been great talking to you. I've really appreciated you taking the time out to do this, and looking forward to the rest of Viking Link and completing it at the end of next year.
Yeah, the next year is really going to be an exciting year, with the completion of all the works on Viking Link and starting testing of the finished interconnector by the end of next year.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. So I think we're here today, Søren. We work really closely together on a project called Viking Link.
Yeah.
And that's obviously the UK and the Danes working together. So I think it's only fair we try some joint UK and Danish treats. Okay, bring them in.
Let's do this.
First one. So we have kettle chips. So balsamic and sea salt and balsamic vinegar kettle chips.
Yeah.
And do you recognise those?
Yeah, it's Kim's chips. Yeah. Quite famous in Denmark.
Well, you probably had these before, in the
Yeah.
I'll offer to you. So if you take the.
Yeah. I'm not good at vinegar, but I love British crisps, but not these ones with but that's because of the vinegar, not because of the crisp itself.
These are nice. I might save these for later.
You're welcome.
How would I pronounce?
Wave chips.
Ah, wave chips. Okay. Yeah. I'll save these for later. Yeah. I think I'd probably vote the Danish crisps here.
Okay. Yeah. I would do so as well.
1-0 to Denmark then.
Yeah.
Treat number 2. These are my favourite biscuits. Do you recognise these?
Yeah. It's vanilla cookies.
And we have Fox is fabulous. These when I go to Viking Link, I always take a pack of these with me. So I'll offer
I'm
you.
really looking forward for taking these are delicious, basically.
Yeah. You might have to break one in half.
Yeah.
Take the small one. So these are vanilla.
Yeah. But very industrial. I can do them much better at home.
So you make these, Søren? Oh wow! Now I know what to ask for next time.
These are very good.
Yeah, as I said, these are my favourite biscuits. So I think it's UK for
I
me.
understand why. UK. Also definitely for me.
So that's 1-1. Okay, another treat.
Yeah. Chocolate. Yeah. Gold bear.
These might just be the same. I'm not sure. I think they're so similar.
They are extremely similar.
Maybe we should decide which one's got the better packaging. So is it the dairy milk or is it gold bar?
This one has a nice.
So I think we're saying the UK on packaging, but neutral on flavour. Right. Yeah.
But by the way, did you tell me at once that was it you that grew up close to the Cadbury factory?
Yeah, the Cadbury factory is maybe 4 or 5 miles from where I live currently, and as in a place called Bourneville, and as you drive through, you can definitely smell it.
Okay.
Yeah, lots of free treats if you ever get to visit.
Yeah, but by the way, the Danish chocolate is actually produced quite close to where we have our Copenhagen office in Bello.
Oh, is it? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'll have to look out for that next time you go. Dangerous one apparently.
Oh.
Yeah. Not my favourite, I must admit. That's a personal thing.
Actually, the same here.
So these are licorice all sorts.
Yeah.
Is that licorice as well, is it?
It is, but it's salty. It's a salty version.
Salty, oh wow. Salty licorice. Well, I'll try it. I think I can smell those from here.
Salty fish.
Salty fish. So, I'm going to try a bit. It's definitely licorice. Whose idea was it to put salt on it? Actually, it's not that bad.
I don't know where it comes from.
I wouldn't, do you like these?
No.
People, I don't think the camera can see. I think everyone knows licorice all sorts. To be honest, I actually quite like those. They're quite nice. We have to vote, Soren, we have to vote.
Yeah, but actually, maybe to give one excuse, they are actually not Danish. They are from Germany.
Okay.
German.
Yeah.
German.
So I think, are we voting UK?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, UK. Put those down there. They're actually not that
You
bad.
did well not to offend an entire nation there.
So the net treat, Soren. This is a drink this time. So that would be, the Danish one.
Faxe Kondi.
And this, well, so this is here is the English drink, although definitely Scottish, 100%. You actually, if you go into most pubs in Scotland, you know the tap that the waiter would use to serve your drink.
Yeah.
You can get IRN-BRU on the tap in. I will serve you some of this. And what flavour would this? What flavour is this, Soren? Before I try it.
Yeah, it's a little bit lemon-like. It's actually quite a. It was my favorite when I was a boy, because it was also extreme. I think it came out in the 1970s, and became a very important brand in Denmark. Now it's less popular, but still on the market.
So I would vote for the Scottish drink in this instance, because IRN-BRU is a personal favourite of mine. Are you going?
I need to remind myself about.
Yeah, this is a really important process. It needs to be accurate.
Yeah, the Scottish.
Scottish, perfect. I don't know who won.
Yeah, where's the scores on that?
I think it was one. No, it was English, neutral. The licorice English. Yeah. And then the IRN-BRU Scottish. So I don't know. Yeah.
Pretty neutral, I guess, then.
Well, Soren, that was all the treats and all the questions. So thank you for joining me on this process. I really enjoyed that personally.
Me too.
Really looking forward to continuing our collaboration on Viking Link together.
I do as well. Yeah.
And I hope you Have a really good Christmas and New Year.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you. And if you like this sort of content from National Grid, please feel free to put a comment in the comments box and tell us what you think. Thank you.